The first question is for Sucheta. Am I pronouncing your name correct?
Yeah,
Sucheta.
perfect.
Can you tell us what is your routine when writing your blog?
Sure. So can everybody hear me fine?
Yes.
Well, thank you all for coming this Saturday morning. I know a lot of people want to just sleep and enjoy this nice weather. But you're here and you want to work on your businesses, so applause to you first for being here. And I hope the session is a little bit encouraging to you and has some teaching points that you can use right away. So my set of personal blogging history, I started blogging when I had a job in consulting, and it was a way for me to promote my brand and to talk about things that I was interested in, I was reading about, but also wanted to share my perspectives on what I thought about those issues. So at that point in time, it was a little bit different. It was first thing in the morning after I read the news, things that were basically in my inbox, maybe some other articles, and I was reflecting on them. And it's just a conversation. If you were to sit down with your friends and say, well, this is what I read about today, how interesting, but I think that it should be done in this way. So that was basically how my blog started. It was on HR issues, it was on consulting and branding. And now I write more about food and travel. So blogging can be about anything. It's taken me a journey to find out what things I'm most passionate about blogging. And now generally I blog late at night. After Facebook has shut down, Twitter has shut down, there are no emails coming in, the phone is not ringing, and I just have total peace and quiet. That's when I really start writing. And there may be things that have really motivated me through the day or through a trip. You know, I was recently in Croatia, and I did a lot of things. I went to 5 different cities, we had wine tastings and tours, but there was this one particular museum of broken relationships that was something that just caught my attention, and like, people should know about this. And it's not like I can write a whole story about it for a magazine or a newspaper, but a small blog post, 500 words, would not hurt. And a lot of people would come to know, and they just opened another location in LA, so maybe somebody traveling to LA might be interested in knowing about it too. So my blogs are basically sharing information with other people just I would with my friends.
That sounds very interesting. And it seems like it is innate talent for you to write. So for us that don't have that talent on writing, what would you recommend? Like if we want to go ahead and start a blog, would you recommend hiring somebody to write for you? Maybe like a ghostwriter? Or where do you find them? What do you do if you want to blog or you want to express what you are experiencing with your business or whatever it is, but you don't know how to start?
That's a very good question. So when I started my blog, my personal blog, Go Eat Give, I didn't really know how to start it either. A friend of mine who works in branding, she made the template and the design for the blog. And she asked me, what are some of the things that you want to write about in your blog? What is it that people come to you normally and talk to you about? And for me, people would call me Friday night and say, hey, I'm looking for a nice restaurant to go to in downtown. Do you know any Lebanese place that we can go to? Or they may be planning their next vacation, they're going to Peru, and they're like, can you recommend a travel agent who we can book our trip through? So I said, oh, that's a good way to start my blog. It's just information about where I've been or where I've eaten and the recommendations I want to give. So that's what my blog was about. Now, if you're not a good writer, you can do a photo blog, you can do a video blog. There are so many different ways to even start a blog, and you don't have to write long articles, 2 pages. You know, it could be 2 short paragraphs, just the way you were speaking to a friend. Of course, some editing is needed. If you want to write in Spanish, that's fine. In English is fine, but if you don't feel comfortable with your grammar and punctuation, have a friend read it for you. But I don't really recommend having somebody else write your blog, because it's like as if you're hiring someone to speak on behalf of you. You know, unless it is a website for your company and you want to share information about what your company is doing, then it's not really a blog anymore, it's more like a newsletter.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Now this question goes to Emmelie. Can you tell me some of your strengths that really helped you in blogging?
So I've had my blog for almost 7 years. And a lot of times I think more entrepreneurs because they think, oh, I'm going to start a blog and tomorrow I'm going to have 10,000 followers and I'm going to be famous and people are going to be paying me and sending me free product. No. You're going to be doing it for a long time and it's going to feel like nobody's listening, and if you're just writing and only your abuelita is commenting and you're depressed, and it's okay. You know, it takes time to build an audience, and what, you know, separates the people who are successful versus the people who aren't successful is that the successful people didn't quit. So let's just get that out the way. So I think my strength was the fact that, you know, when people started blogging and they saw that, you know, only 40 people read it in a month, or you know, only 3 people commented on the blog, they got discouraged and they quit. And then here I am 7 years later, still with my blog, still with my audience. They've been able to see me grow, and they've been able to follow me on my journey. So I think first of all is that kind of like that perseverance and that persistence to keep going even when it's crickets. But I think also it was just being transparent. So I write exactly the same way that I speak. Obviously, you know, I'm Dominican and Puerto Rican, so I have an accent. And I'm not here trying to be anything for anybody, okay? I'm gonna be me, and if you like it, great, and if you don't like it, that's fine too. So I think blogging came even to me because I didn't overthink it, right? I wasn't trying to be somebody that I wasn't in real life. So when I write my blog post, I write it in my exact same voice. I curse on there. I will curse you on Instagram Live. You know, I'm very, very transparent, and that's what my audience appreciates about me. You know, they feel like when they meet me in person versus when they read my blog or when they read my Instagram, they know that I'm a real person and, you know, that I'm not being fake. So I think that was really the strength. You know, everybody's going to write about different things. You know, some people are going to take different approaches, but the reason that people read blogs is for the human connection, right? If I didn't want that human connection, I would go read Forbes or another, you know, journalistic publication. The reason that people read blogs is because that they want to feel that one-on-one connection and human interaction. So that's really what you need to build into your blog and into your content as you build your brand as a business owner.
Okay, one more question and then I'm going back to Sucheta. All right, what type of networking do you think is better to enhance the traffic to your blog?
Yeah. So I don't know if it would necessarily be networking per se. I mean, networking and meeting people one-on-one is great, but to maximize your time, you want to be one to many people, right? So guest blogging, how can you get in front of the eyes of other people in your target market? So if I'm a fashion blogger, but I'm also, you know, very healthy, I might want to write a guest post for, you know, for someone who has a food blog or for someone who has a fitness blog. So guest posting is a good way to start getting your eyes, different eyes on your blog. And then also I would say too, not discounting press. Press opportunities are the fastest way to get, you know, more eyes to your blog. And again, you do not have to go beyond primer impacto and munición. Like, you don't have to go, you know, sit down with Oprah to get traffic for your blog. Sometimes it's just right in your very community, right? Your local news stations, your local paper, regional things like that. So it's very, very important for you to build your personal brand. So I'll give you an example. If you own a laundromat, right, you're not gonna blog about how to wash clothes because that's gonna get old, right? Like, there's only so many ways that you can wash clothes. So you wouldn't be writing about the specific day-to-day of your business. You would be writing about your experience as a laundromat owner, right? And your experience as a laundromat owner might get you on the Soap Conference of America, right? Or like the Dryers of America conference. I'm just making these up. But you'll get in front of different opportunities because you build your personal brand as an expert. So it's important to not only, you know, guest blog and of course meet people one-on-one, but really get in front of more people through press and different opportunities like that. Speaking, you know, you don't need to get booked for a conference to be in front of people. You can have your own events and talk about your expertise about what you know, because as you grow your business, other business owners and other people in your community are going to want to know how to do that too. So don't discount creating your own opportunities and always kind of wait for people to give you a chance.
Right, great. I think you answered part of the question that I have for Sucheta, but that's great information. Sucheta, how can I create awareness of my product or service using a blog? How?
So that's a great question, because when I started the blog, the purpose was only information sharing. But my business came about from the blog. When people were reading my articles, they were contacting me from all over the world and saying, well, can you plan a trip for us? Or can you tell us where to go? Can we go with you on your next trip? And I was like, this sounds like they want me to open a travel agency. So I did. I started a company, which is a nonprofit travel agency. It's by the same name as the blog. It's Go Eat Give. And I take people on tours. And these were people that are coming to me and saying, this is what I want. After reading your blog, it sounds like this is what you do. I said, I didn't, but now that you want me to, I will. And from that, I started also doing local events that raises awareness of the blog. So they're called destination dinners. And each month we'll pick a country and have speakers and artists and food from that country. So again, people who are reading the blog, if they're interested in learning about food from Colombia, they come to an event which is about Colombia here in Atlanta, or one of the cities that we have a chapter in, and they learn more about the food. They meet other people who are from there, or they would like to go visit Colombia, and then they come back to me and say, well, when is your next trip? And I would like to go with Go Eat Give because everything I've read about on your blog. So it became a full circle where the blog started the business and then it also drives the business.
It seems like both of you have a lot of passion with your blogs, and because of that passion, your business started. But my question is, how long did you have to blog for before you see any clients or any results, or is it something that didn't even pass your mind until it happened?
For me, it never crossed my mind that I'm going to have a nonprofit business when I started the blog. But as soon as the blog was out there, a year later I started the business. And because of the growth, I saw that people were writing to me first from Atlanta. First it was just my friends and family who were reading it, but then they would share it with their friends. And then I started a Facebook page where I would share my blogs. And from there it just grew to people from all over the world were writing it.
It starts with one little person, right? To spread the news, and like Emmelie said, like abuelita, right?
Abuelita is your best public relations professional.
Yes.
And she works for free.
Yes. So just be consistent, even though it's just abuelita, because it eventually will happen if you put a lot of passion into your work. So next question, and this one is going to go for Emmelie. How is the engagement in your blog directly with your clients?
What do you mean, like how they engage with me?
Yeah, how do you engage? Like, what is the conversation? Do they send questions or?
So my blog isn't very comment heavy. So most of my engagement happens on social media. So usually, this is how I kind of break down my content. You tell people what to do, why they should do it, and how to do it, right? So I tell people why they should do something on social media. So why you should get on Periscope, right? Then on my blog, I'll tell them what to do. So what do you do once you're on Periscope? You go live, here's how you break down your speeches, whatever. And then I charge for the how. So then how you maximize Periscope for your business, now that's coaching, now that's a package, now that's my book. So I break down my content in that way so that I can move people through what we call the funnel. So I give them some free content that's valuable that can help them, but then if they want to take that to the next level, then that's when I start to charge. So I would say that most of my content, like 90% of my content is free. I give it away for free. I do Instagram lives, I do Twitter chats, I speak with, I respond to every single comment for the most part on Instagram and on Twitter and things like that. And then, I try to bring them back to my blog by starting conversations, because what you need to do with a blog is you need to build that sense of urgency, right? You want to make people feel like they need to read what you just wrote because like their life is going to be miserable without it, or they're never going to make money in their business. Like their world's going to fall apart if they don't go to your blog, right? So for me, what I like to do is I always like to kind of start like planting the seeds on social media, and then if begins a discussion, then I go and I write about it on my blog. That way I'm also not wasting time blogging about things that people don't care about, right? Then you go back to the abuelita syndrome where it's like you just wrote this 800-word blog post and your audience didn't care about it because it wasn't something that was immediately already on your mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Now, both of you have started your business, like the full cycle that you mentioned, with the blog. Started with the blog. That was the first thing that you did, and then business came in. Now, we have a lot of entrepreneurs here, like myself as well, that don't have a blog, have a business, kind of sort of have like a little blog that I do. But how do we start a blog just like with the business already? What do you recommend? And this goes with both of you to answer.
So I'll give you an example of that. I started a second blog recently based on another business that I started a year ago, and that's a series of children's books. And it's based on my travels, but it's a complete separate business from Go Eat Give. And I've written 3 books so far, but the idea is that I will be publishing more, and I also have an app. And then I started the blog after I created the website for that book series. The books were already published, and then the blog is there to engage the readers. So you might be interested today to learn more about my book. You may see it outside in the hall, but when you go on the website, you'll see, how did I actually start writing the books? Maybe you're interested in writing a book, so I have a blog post about how you can be an author yourself. Or you picked up the Beato Goes To Greenland book and you want to learn a little bit more about why Greenland, why did you pick Greenland and what's so great about it. Then I've written a blog about why I picked Greenland, and there's a girl I met there and how she impacted me, and you can see her real life pictures. So it's a way for people to come to know you a little bit more, your product a little bit more, and keep your interest level high too. And maybe you don't pick up a book today, you don't end up buying one, but you may visit the website, you may read the blog, and then feel like, oh, this is a very special story. And I would love to have this book in my library, or give it to one of my kids, or make it a nice Christmas present. So it's a way for you to think about your business, how you can engage your current users, but also attract new customers.
And let's just do a quick show of hands. So if you have a business-to-business business, so if your business services other businesses, raise your hand. Raise them high, come on, need energy. Okay. Okay. Like half the room. Okay, and if your business to consumer, raise your hand. Okay. And if you are just a personal brand, so you yourself, you sell books or you sell, your own personal services, raise your hand. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you all the real deal. It is 2017, right? So if you are about to start a blog, you came late to the game, so I suggest we just pivot and go somewhere else. So if you are business to business, the best thing that you can do today immediately is take your content from your blog that hasn't been successful, or if you haven't started blogging yet, and put it on LinkedIn. Why? Because LinkedIn is the biggest platform for business to business. So if you created a blog and you're praying for people to come read about your plumbing business, it's not gonna happen, okay? So you wanna go be on LinkedIn, blog directly on your profile, so that way when you build out those connections, you get those views and you get to maximize the content that you create. Yes? Yes. If you're a business to consumer, what I recommend is take your content, whether you have a content idea or an already existing blog, and repurpose that content across all of your channels. Try doing a YouTube video, try doing Facebook and Instagram Live, try doing Pinterest, try everything for 30 days, right? For 30 days. And then at the end of those 30 days, see what actually drove a sale. Because sometimes we want to kill ourselves to write a blog when really we're making sales on Instagram. Or sometimes, we want to just master YouTube, but our audience, they don't, like to watch YouTube. So we kind of need to try a little bit of everything in the consumer space and then see what works based on our metrics. So it's not always about best practice, it's about what works best for your business. So that's what I would say. If you don't have a blog, don't worry about it. You don't have, we've said over and over again, you don't have to do everything, but you definitely want to make sure that you're creating content. It doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter if it's video, photo, some people do podcasting, some people just do regular, I have one of my clients, what she does is she talks her blog post into a voice note on her iPhone, she takes it and she just uploads it onto her website as an MP3. So it's technically not a podcast, it just is a voice blog post, I guess, on her blog. So there are definitely a lot of ways for you to create content. You just have to put in the work to see which one's gonna pan out for you.
Okay, great. Now for a lot of people that have been trying blogging and no results, and of course you say that to keep the consistency going until, I don't know, when do you recommend, like how long do I have to blog to see results, or this is not working for me?
I think for both of us, it was within a year that we started seeing the results. But what you need to realize is that first year, I was blogging 3 times a week, every single week. I was doing free webinars once a month. I had an email list. So I was running my blog like it was already a paying business. And if you don't run your blog, if you're gonna, not do the work up front, you're like, just blog today, and then I won't blog again for 2 months, and then I won't blog again until September, then obviously you're not going to see the results. So the consistency comes more from how you produce content and how much you're willing to amplify that content. Like I said, doing guest posts, doing free speaking engagement, getting on LinkedIn and connecting with people, building your tribe on social media, and doing all of those other things is really what's going to help you move the needle. So I would say if after a year you've been like putting in the work and nothing has happened, then maybe it might be time to pivot. But what I find is a lot of people that don't see results haven't put in the work, and that's why they haven't seen the results.
That's a great comment. Thank you so much. Sucheta.
I echo that. I go to a lot of blogging conferences, and so many people give me their cards and say, check out my blog, I write about this. And the last post may have been like 5 months ago. Or before that, they may have blogged 3 weeks ago. So it's so inconsistent. And think about this is like subscribing to a newspaper. If you get the newspaper one Sunday and then don't get it the next Sunday, after 3 or 4 weeks, you'll be like, I don't want to subscribe to it anymore.
I will say from experience that affiliate marketing, which is when you recommend a product and you get commissions per sale, is more lucrative than just getting paid by a brand, right? Because Neutrogena, let's say Neutrogena paid me to do an acne post, right? Because I used to have very bad skin. So they paid me to do an acne post and they paid me $400, right? Okay, I got paid that $400 one time, but that post has been on my blog for 3 years. So for those 3 years, all the people that have bought Neutrogena products, I'm not getting paid on it, right? So that's why affiliate marketing, I say, is a better avenue to go, because that way you can get paid on every single sale that you drive versus just that one-time fee. And a lot of business owners always, go to brands as the solution, but I feel like the bulk of my revenue has definitely come more from speaking engagements and selling my products and services than it has come from getting paid by brands. But everybody's different. Like Africa, she's over here with Kia. I mean, she's like traveling the world. So different bloggers and different niches is different, right? So if you're in beauty and lifestyle, there's a lot of money from brands. If you're, like I said, a laundromat, like maybe Gain might pay you a couple dollars, but that's it. So you have to also be mindful of what your niche is as well and who your audience is.
Do you have another question?
Good morning, Tanya Allen, Integrated Consulting. Let me ask you this. You were talking about webinars. Tell me, actually I have 2 questions. The webinar part, how long the webinar can be so you can engage people to make the board? And the other question is, out of 100% of your blogs, tell me the percentage of the blog that actually you monetize and make a profit.
So in terms of webinars, I usually try to do anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes of me presenting, and then I leave the rest for Q&A. And I will stay on there until 2 o'clock in the morning for 7 hours to answer all the questions, because that's really how you build and engage with your audience. So webinars, you really kind of play it by ear. I know some of my peers, they'll do webinars as short as 20 minutes, and need 15 minutes for Q&A, and then there's some people who do webinars as long as 90 minutes and then do Q&A. So it really depends on how much content you have and the time of day and things like that. So obviously if you do it in the middle of the day, you're not going to do a 90-minute webinar because people are going to work or they're doing it during their lunch break and things like that. And then in terms of my blog posts, I try to monetize all my blog posts with affiliate links for the most part. But in terms of sponsored posts, I would say lately, most of my posts this year have been sponsored posts. But like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. But when I started, it would come like maybe like one sponsored post a month would come. But all the posts that weren't sponsored by a brand, then I would always make sure that the call to action was go buy my book, or book a one-on-one, or come to this webinar where I'm going to tell you something, you know, that you need so that you eventually become my client. So it all kind of works together in a sequence. I feel like it might be the same for you, right?
Thank you, Adam.
Fellow New York Puerto Rican here.
Yes.
A couple questions related. So you mentioned, Sucheta, how often you post, but I'm curious, both of you, how often do you post? And then on average, how big are your posts? Because I know that matters. And then how long does it take for you to finish one post? Right, so, and, you know, because if you're doing your own writing, maybe you have ghostwriters, whatever, how long, you know, does that take if you're doing 2 posts a week, or so? It'd be great to know. Thanks.
So for my Go Give blog, I post once a week, and it depends. It can be 500 to 800 word blog posts, and if I'm really focused, if I know what I'm going to be writing about, I can do it in an hour and upload pictures, resize them, optimize the blog post, and then also have social media sharing links to that. And I also do something called the Huffington Post, which I think you do as well, that I would put a little more thought into, and it may come about from one of the blog posts that I've already done, but I want to elaborate more based on the reaction that I received on my blog. It could be a little bit longer, 800 to 1,000 words, but it really has a bigger purpose. Maybe I'm trying to write on behalf of a company or a trip I did, or it is a call to action for purchasing my book, so why it's important to teach your kids about different countries and cultures. So those I may put in a couple of hours to do that, but that's pretty much it. I don't know if your experience is very different.
Yeah, I'm more of the disorganized. You know, I'm not one of those bloggers that say, oh, today I'm gonna drink coffee and then write out my beautiful. No, I'm like driving in traffic, like cursing people out half the time when I do my blog post, because what I actually do is I do a voice recording and then I get it transcribed. Just because for me, sitting in front of a computer is very hard. I'm very high energy, so sitting behind a computer doesn't work well for me. So a lot of times, like when I'm driving in traffic, or you know, when I'm just like walking at the gym or something like that, I'll voice note my blog posts and then get them transcribed. So that takes probably like 20 minutes to write a good 800 word post. But then it might take, you know, a day or two for it to get transcribed. I use a service called Fiverr, Fiverr, and I literally pay $5 for a 20-minute transcription. So that's one way that I do it. Another thing that I do is I take my old posts and I revamp them. So I'll go back to my posts from 2013, 2014, and I'm just like, oh my Lord, like, what was I talking about? It was a hot mess. So I'll take that and, you know, I'll make it more meaty, I'll make it a little bit longer. I usually don't try to go past 1,000 words because then it just gets too long and people don't like to read. But it really varies, but I would say if I sit down to actually type out a blog post from scratch, it could take me 3 hours between writing, editing, putting it on the blog, putting all the social media links, getting a picture that doesn't have copyright so I don't go to jail. You know, there's like a lot of process that goes into it, so it might take me like 3 hours from start to finish.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Sucheta and Emmelie, for your time and your knowledge. It was amazing to know